G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content on my channel. If you missed the last video, the dead blow hammer build, link up there now, get what's that first, and come back watch this one. Alright, this week I'm going to make a couple of bits and pieces up for the new table, so follow me over to the bench and I'll show you what I've got in mind. Alrighty, so this new table, as if you watch the video, has some weird sized T-ways in it, and I made up 4 of these to get me started. They're an inch wide, but they're only ½ inch thick, I think, from memory, no more than that, 3/8. And the T-slot is about 16mm deep, just under. And I was after a piece of 1 inch by 5/8 when I ordered that piece of brass to make the dead blow hammer. But all I had was inch by inch, was as close as I could get. But looking at that, you know, you've got to take an awful lot of material off that to get it down to 5/8 thick. So I've decided what I might do is just cut a strip off the side of this plate, which is, I think, 19 from memory. Yeah, 19, it's probably 3/4. Just cut a strip off that and machine them out of that. So what we're going to do in this video is make some T-nuts. Alrighty, so I cut a piece off that with the steel I had, and I'm going to just dress it all up. I dragged this thing out of the drawer yesterday after I cut it up to see how we go, trim it up. It's doing a pretty good job, but damn, it's noisy. A lot noisier than I want to produce here. My roughing cutters, well, it's just about lost all its edge, so I think I'll leave it for roughing out the steps that are going to go into it, and I'll just use the fly cutter to dress this up. I want to see how it goes. This table does not have the bulk to it that my old table had, because it's all hollow up under here. Under here's hollow, there's nothing there, and I might get to the point where I have to fill them a bit and try and make this thing more solid. There's bloody rust coming into this already. But anyway, I'll get into it and see how we go. I had another problem this morning. Turned the computer on and it wouldn't boot up, so I'm hoping this doesn't delay getting my videos out. We'll see how we go here. Maybe one should tighten tools up before one starts. What's going on here? That is suddenly taking a whole lot more out of there than it was. I'll come back to you. I've got to say, I can't for the love of me see what caused it to bite in there like that. But it's very obvious that the head is not trimmed properly, because it was cutting on the back edge as well, and it's quite a large step. So I'm going to do something about fixing that up before we go any further, and I'll come back to you when I've got it done. Well, I've got to say, that took forever to get that right. I don't know if I can take enough off to get rid of that and still end up with a thick enough piece to dress up the other side. So I think I'll leave it. I'll just take one more pass off it, clean up the other side, measure it, and if I've got enough left, I'll come and take that off. I'll cut a piece out of it and round out otherwise. And the fabulous fly cutter finishes continue. There's no trailing marks here, so I've definitely got that out of it now. I just went bit by bit until I didn't get any trailing cuts. Anyway, the computer repair place down the road should be open now. I'll get my computer down the road and give me more of a chance to get these videos out at the end of the week. Alrighty, back to you when I'm done. Alrighty, so after a quick measure, I decided I had plenty of meat left in that, so I took another pass up that other side to finish cleaning that up. Damn it, I've dinged my new hammer already. What a bummer. I'm not really liking this vise being bolted down with only the 2 bolts. I think I'm going to have to extend these slots. So I can bolt it down with 4 bolts. We're going to just make it, and that's all. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Alrighty, so I didn't get rid of all of that. I'm running out. I can't take any more off it. But it doesn't matter about that bit there, because all that gets machined off anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'll get that out of there and flip it over and clean the back side up, because this will be the bottom and this will be the top, because it's got a little ramped off bit on the end which I want to machine off anyway. Alrighty, I just thought I'd show you this before I go on with this. For those of you who watch me fit this table up, it's got a bit of a banana at this table. So to account for that, I marked the end that was up this way, and when I machined the other end I flipped it that way, like that, so that it would account for it, and it's worked out perfectly. I got 24.55 this end, which I'm not on an unmachined bit there, 24.56 this end, so that's close enough for me. I hope not to take that out of there again, but I might have to. I probably should have used the one above that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I have to change them, I have to change them. Alright, bloody drongo, sometimes that's the wrong side. I want to do the other side before this one, because this is the side that's got to have most of the material removed from it. I just wanted to clean the back end up before I got started. But while I'm at it, I'll swap these over, put the right ones in. Alrighty, time to get rid of some material off here. See how this roughing cutter goes. It's getting a bit blunt. Probably should have ordered a new one. Anyway, there we go. In all honesty, I think I'd be better off using the fly cutter. That was only a 1/2 millimetre cut to keep the noise down, and I can get away with 0.25 in the fly cutter, so it would only take 2 passes with the fly cutter instead of 3 with this thing, so I think I'll go that way. I'll bring you back later. I've got a fair bit to take off there. When I get it off, I'll bring you back. Alrighty, that was just a 0.05 finishing pass. I've spent forever hacking the best part of 4.5 millimetres off that. And while I was doing that, while it was feeding itself going backwards and forwards, I started measuring the depth of these T-slots, and they are all over the place. Up here, it's 12 point something, and in places it's 16 point something. But they sort of average out to around 15 to 16. So I've come down to 15 mil with this, otherwise, because I don't want them sticking up. I can't even get those little flat ones all made with no, can't even get these things, won't even fit in up this end. Got to put them in from the other end. But anyway, that's that. It's gone lunchtime. I'm going to give it a miss and go have some lunch. Come back and move that up that way so I can get all the way to the end of the roughing cutter, and then we'll do something about mill on the sides here. Alrighty, so I got it out and deburred it and moved it so I can get the full stroke out of it. I've marked it out all the way around everywhere I need to where I want to cut to. I've made a bit of a test cut here, see how we're going to go, so let's get on with it. Alrighty, I've got a 12 mil 4 flute end mill in there and finish them off. Oh, if I got my if I got everything right when I centered it, that should be in the right spot. Clean this end up. Alrighty, definitely getting a better finish on the ends than I used to with the old table. Alright, so next step will be chamfer these edges and then mark it out and drill some holes in it. Because this table, all these slots all over the friggin' place, I'm going to drill them all and then I'm going to cut one off and then try it all over the place and see whether it needs any more machined off it or not. Alrighty, so that's the sides chamfered. There's a little 6mm solid carbide chamfering tool I picked up a few weeks ago, cheap. So next cab off the rank, we'll be drilling tap some holes in it. Alrighty, well, did enough make me break into a sweat. I think I might have bought myself a new tap. This 8mm one's starting to feel like the 6mm one that broke off in here when I was building the tower. Anyway, that's that. Next step will be to cut one off, clean out the T-slots and try it in there and just make sure it doesn't need any more machining. Well, this is unbelievable. The end I thought it wouldn't fit in. Mostly fits in. Fits in that one okay. Fits in that one okay. Starts in this one and then binds up. But this is the one that's got the big lump up underneath here, I think. No, it's further up there. Or is it in here? Somewhere, I don't know. But there's big lumps on the bottom as well. So I'm not sure whether just sort of knocking a bit more off the bottom would help with that or not. Well, hang on, I'll move this camera up the other end and show you what we got there. I thought this was the better end of the two, but there's actually a huge step just there. It'll sort of start in this one, then it binds up. I don't know what it's hitting on. It's hitting on something in there. Although there is a big lump just in there and there. Just won't go in this one because of the huge step there. And there's a little lump just there which will probably knock off, but it don't want to start in that one. So I don't know what to do with them. I think I might just knock half a millimetre or so off the bottom and see how we go. I don't want to make them too thin. What a hassle. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons once again for their valued support. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can join up there and toss me a couple of dollars every week, because every little bit helps. If you don't wish to become a patron, there's always buy me a coffee. There's a QR code there on the screen you can scan now. Or if you don't want to do either of those things, you can use that thanks button down there. Alrighty, so while you guys weren't looking, I dug out my electric die grinder, which I bought a while back and I've hardly ever used, and a little set of carbide burrs that I bought a long time ago, cheap, and I've hopped into a lot of these lumps and bumps, including that big step there, and now I can get these in there all the way up to that vise. Except there's a lump in there, so once I get the vise off, I'll have a crack at that. I can get up underneath it with this little round one here and knock the lumps off. That's what I did in this one, on the corner of this one. The only issue is this one here over the back, up the other end there, when you pull it up, it sits up a good millimetre or more above there, and even this one's sitting up a bit. So it's going to have to take some off the tops of them as well as the bottom. I took a half mil off the bottom of everything, but I won't bore you with doing that. I'll knock a millimetre off a couple of them and half mil off the rest, I think, and leave it at that. So if I need them for way up the other end there, I've got them. There's no use having them if they stick up above the top of the table. But anyway, that's where we're at. So finish machining them, cut them all up, and then we'll glue the damn things. Alrighty, we had some evil voodoo magic going on here yesterday afternoon. I made 7 of these things and took them over to the saw and cut them all up, and had to cut the last one with the angle grinder because I couldn't hold the saw anymore. But one has magically disappeared, so I don't know what's going on there. I looked all over the place, I can't find it. I guess it'll show up sooner or later. Alright, so this is the stuff that my gracious supporter sent me a while back. Sent me 4 bottles of that, so I'm going to give that a go this time. Down the road this morning I bought a little glass bowl for about, oh geez, that bottle's leaking. 25 cents or something, whatever it was. A new paintbrush, and I've given these a very generous wash with some acetone and allowed them to dry off properly, so we'll get into it. Why? Oh, because I didn't put the lid back on properly, that's why. Anyway, we'll get in, we'll try this stuff instead of what I've been using. I took 3/4 of a mil off the bottom of these, not half a mil, and decided that I wasn't going to take a mil off any of them, and if I really need a low profile one, then I'll use one of these too. There's 2 more of these that are currently holding the vice down. So anyway, we'll give these a go first. There's no one doesn't seem to want to blow up. This one's got a drop on it, it's going nice and black. Wipe off. I'll go and rinse them in a minute. Over there. One was gone nice and black in the end. Alright, last one. Alrighty, so I'll go and rinse them off with some water, and I'll come back to you once they've had a good soak in some oil. Alrighty, just a quickie. After I washed all them off, they look pretty crappy, so I gave them a quick hit with a bit of, you know, this stuff we call it, yeah, and did them again. So now they're going to have a generous soak in some whey oil, and I'll bring you back when I'm done, show you what they look like. If you've enjoyed this video up to this point, have it given us a great big thumbs up. It really helps me out. Well, these have had a very long soak overnight, and they've come up pretty well. So it remains to be seen how well things go in the long run because of these crappy slots. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for hanging in there, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.